So my mother's holiday. The preparations began weeks before the event. We will see her at night seated at this round table in the breakfast room, writing out the guest list. The aunts, the uncles, the cousins, the priest from church, the newly arrived who had no friends. And every year she would allow one of 9 of us, to bring a friend. And wow, how our friends waited with anticipation to see who would be the chosen one. A couple days later, we will see her at that same dining room table, writing out the grocery list. There was no menu to plan. The menu was always the same. Turkey with stuffing, sweet potatoes with that marshmallow topping, the string bean casserole with the cream of mushrooms and the onion rings, the cranberry sauce, the bread, the pumpkin pies. Yes, it was Thanksgiving, my mother's holiday. And living away from her home, she wanted to replicate the Thanksgivings of her youth. We don't celebrate Thanksgiving in Panama. Only the dislocated Americans, or those like us who had a mother who was an American. And she wanted to do it her way. You know, she didn't want to substitute anything, to change anything. She could have made the stuffing with rice and pork the way Panamanians do. She could have made a yuca dish, a plantain dish. She could have made a fruit salad with fresh mangoes and bananas from our backyard. She could have made mango chutney. For who has ever heard of cranberries growing in Panama? No one. But no, it had to be her way. So out of cans it came. A few days later, we will see our pantry getting fuller and fuller of cans. There were the string bean French cut cans, the cream of mushroom cans, the fried onion cans, the sweet potato cans, the pumpkin cans, the pineapple cans, the mandarin cans, any can that you could imagine, there it was. On Thanksgiving Day, we will wake up to the smells from the kitchen and the noise from the kitchen. For us, it was not a holiday. We had to go to school. And when we came back from school, we could smell the turkey before entering our house. Mom had spent all day cooking. She had fixed the house. It was spotless. Hard to do with 9 kids. Every table had beautiful tablecloths. She used to say she was in love with tablecloths. She had her china, her silver, her goblets. She had everything out. It had to be the best for her holiday. The guests would arrive, and there it began. Mom will take that big turkey out of the oven, put it in a platter, and she would arrange it. On those little legs, she would take foil paper, wrap it around, make little cuts, and flare it out. She would take an apple and put it in that opening where the stuffing was. Oh, that stuffing made with bread, and chopped onions and celery, and even the chopped liver, which I didn't try to eat, and the raisins and tons of butter. She would take that platter out, she would take it around, and we will look at it and we will say, wow, ooh, and we will say how good it smelled and how pretty it looked. And after a second round of wow and woos and woo, she will go back to the kitchen with a big smile, beaming with happiness and pride. She will slice the turkey and we will gather around the table. And my father would say the prayers. In my house, my father always said the prayers in Spanish. He would give thanks for the food my mother had prepared, for the blessings that we all receive, for our family and our friends. You know, now I wonder if my mom ever listened to those prayers, or if she was saying her own prayers in her own language, in English. I wonder if she was praying for her family that was so far away. If she was praying for her to be able to see the maple leaves and the pine trees, to be able to see those leaves change colors and fall to the ground. I wonder if she wished that she could get with a blanket and go to sleep cozily next to the fire, instead of sleeping between sheets that felt damp from the heat of the tropics. I wonder if she wished that looking out, she could see, these maple trees instead of all the mango trees and the banana trees and the coconut palm trees that we had. I wonder if she wished she was in a different place. But what I wonder the most was if she wished she had fresh cranberries and fresh pumpkins and fresh mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes. Years later, when I was ready to do my first Thanksgiving here in Austin, I wrote her a letter asking for all her recipes, cans and all, for I had no idea you could do it any other way. The letter came. Out I went to buy my cans, my string bean French cut beans, my green potatoes, and my sweet potatoes, all of my cans. I was ready. But then the phone call came. My mother was very ill. The trip back home, the hospital, the burial. It was just a few days before Thanksgiving. As I walked from room to room in my empty home, I felt so lonely. My mother was not there until I reached the kitchen, until I opened the pantry. For there were all her cans, the string bean, the French cut, everything, the fried onions, the sweet potatoes, the cranberries. And in the freezer, there was a turkey. It was then that I knew that I would never be alone ever again. For my mother left this world preparing for Thanksgiving, giving thanks for the many blessings bestowed on her and her family. I was blessed. I am blessed. And since then, I celebrate my mother's holiday, Thanksgiving, her way, cans and all.